It's time, James. It's time to have the Killian Hayes discussion.
Let's do it.
Killian Hayes, I don't know. I don't think he was like written off, right? Like we're getting to that point though.
Yeah.
We're getting to the point where
in Detroit he was by the fans. Yeah.
We were getting to the point where it might have taken a change of scenery. Like it might have been, he might not have. I think someone would have signed him. I think like if the Pistons wouldn't have signed him this coming off season,
I think
someone would.
I think somebody probably would have, but I think because we're both not sure says it all.
Yeah, it was like a Ntilikina deal, right? Like,
yeah.
I think the Mavs signed Ntilikina. Like, I think that there probably would have been a chance taken on Killian, but that's where we were in the Killian Hayes experience. And man, he's looked fun, I will say. And there are parts of his game that I think look really translatable. You mentioned the defense earlier in the show. I think that's like the thing that early in his career, for instance, like he hung his hat on staying in the NBA by being a good point of attack defender, by being able to fight over screens, by being able to just be pesty and using his 6'4", 6'5" strong physical frame to be able to guard opposing ones and twos at a high level. Now the offense is starting to come along. What have you seen from Killian Hayes offensively that has you excited?
I mean, it's for me, it starts and stops at the improved shooting. I would say as a passer, Killian, even the first 2 years with the struggles, was the way he saw the game. There would be some just phenomenal passes. Like he came into the league able to dot defenses, kind of like a West Coast quarterback. Like he was very good at the cross court passes. He was just a very good passer. Now, the confidence he has with his shot. I mean, that was it. Like we can talk about a guy having value because he's good defensively and he's good passing the ball. But like in 2022, you cannot have the ball in your hands that much and not be able to somewhere on the floor score effectively and efficiently. You just can't. Like this isn't Eric Snow early 2000s. Like it's not what it is.
No.
And that's why Michigan State guy. But it's not what it is anymore.
Firing shots at your guy Eric Snow.
Shout out to Eric Snow if you're listening. But Killian had to find a way to score the basketball. Like he just had to. And the fact now that he's shooting the three ball, I think 38% over his last 12 games. The mid-range, I don't know if the stretch is as good still, but he was shooting like high 40s, low 50s for a period in the mid-range. He still has to improve as a finisher around the rim. And I've always found it interesting that, like, for somebody who likes to use his body physically, defensively, he did not always lean into contact and still doesn't offensively. And that's something he's got to iron out. Doesn't get to the line a lot. But this is Killian Hayes, his ability to shoot the ball, the confidence he's walking around with is just like night and day. He reworked his shot over the summer, and you could tell early on this year he struggled. That's why he's still shooting under 40% from the field because of the rough start. But like you can see the comfortability with his new form now. It feels natural now, and that's been huge. You can tell, and like I said, the confidence has come with it. He's hit clutch. He's the one that sent the Mavericks home. He outplayed Luka Doncic in overtime the other day, or a few weeks ago, scoring 14 in the second or in fourth quarter in overtime. He went bonkers against Charlotte last night, hitting step back threes. He's just very, very. I mean, I keep saying confident. That's really the only way to say it.
No, I really actually think it's confidence. Like a big part of it is confidence. And you mentioned the contact thing. Comfort level, embracing contact, not just at the rim, but I think the place where he's gotten a lot more comfortable dealing with contact is on his handle.
Yes.
Like if guys bump him now, like he used to his momentum used to completely stop.
He would pick up his dribble a lot that first year, a lot.
100%. He would pick up his dribble. He would stop trying to attack. Now he looks a lot slicker as a ball handler than what he's looked in the NBA. He had that when he played in Germany, the pre-draft year with Ulm, but he looks a lot more comfortable handling the ball in an attacking manner now. And I think that is kind of opening things up for him. It's allowing him to collapse defenses in a way that he hasn't been able to. And we're starting to see more of the passing, some of the special cross corner skips that, we saw pre-draft that we've seen sporadically, maybe is the way to put it.
But he had to be able to shoot for it to really open up.
Totally. The shooting is the next part as well. He looks way more comfortable as a shooter. And like you said, all of this to me comes back to when you would watch Killian Hayes when he was 19 and 20 years old in the NBA, he just looked kind of like a deer in headlights a lot of the time. Like he just looked like a guy that didn't I don't want to say he didn't have a plan, but like maybe it was the defense is trying to stop you. They're trying to play defense on you. It's the Mike Tyson, like everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like kind of thing.
Yep.
And I think that he had a plan until that happened physically.
Yep.
And then he had to adjust, and it took him a couple of years to adjust, I think.
That's a great point. And I think another thing that's almost along the same lines, and he said something very, very interesting at the end of last season during exit interviews. He's like, what I want to do this summer is play pickup against NBA players. And you just don't hear guys say that because most of these guys are American. This is what they grew up in the AAU system. They grew up in these summer runs. Killian's from America, but he grew up in France. He's French. He's French.
Straight up. Yeah.
People, and I don't know if they forget or they just don't think about this. And I don't want to use it as an excuse, but I do think it did play into the adjustment period. He never played against any of these guys growing up. Like, with all due respect to French basketball players, players playing in the Bundesliga, this isn't that. And a lot of those guys, like Goran's brother, like he played the NBA. He knew what it took. Killian never played in the AAU circuit. He never played college. He never played high-level high school. And not saying that the Bundesliga is not better than high-level high school. That's not what I'm saying. But there's an adjustment period to playing against grown men and learning what it takes to kind of not the necessary. There's a freestyle approach that he just never had, like the confidence that comes with having to just make shit happen. Yeah. And he was always regimented. He always played in systems, and I think that played a big part into it. It's a different
style of basketball.
It's a different style of basketball, yes.
And like, so here's the thing with Killian too. Like, Killian also never really played like Euro League basketball or high-level European basketball until that pre-draft year. Yep. Like, he was playing Espoir. He played a year in the French league where he was like coming off the bench for Cholet. Like, it was that the French league is a little bit different. And I think that the European leagues in general have a reputation for being a very physical style of basketball, right? Especially when you get to like Euro League level, the ACB, leagues like that. Like, those leagues are physical shit. Like the Euro League, I think, is more physical than the NBA now. Like almost like unquestionably when you watch it. But the French league is not necessarily that. And I think people are seeing that, you know, the more that you watch games with Victor Wembanyama, that it's a little bit different. Not in a bad way. Like, those are incredibly skilled guys over there. It's just different style of basketball.
Yes.
With Killian, he really only had 1 year of like high level experience, and it was against guys in the German league that there are athletes in the German league. I don't mean to disrespect the German league. It's a good league. It's just like,
but he could get by on other things because he was more talented.
Yeah, he could. Yep. And as you adjust to the NBA, after not having played like Euro League, he played Euro Cup. Like, Euro Cup's a very strong competition. But like, if you look at his overall numbers, like, he shot 45% from the field in Euro Cup competition, 50% from the field in German League competition. But he actually shot 39% from three in Euro League competition and 21% from three in the German League, which means he had a much easier time scoring in the paint in the German League than he did in Euro Cup, which is going to be a lot more physical, which is going to be higher level competition. So I think that physicality adjustment took a lot of time.
I agree.
For Killian. It's just where I stopped with this.
I think that stems a lot of it. And like, when he said that, like, I just want to play against NBA players all summer. I just like, that's it. Like, that's going to help you. That's going to make a difference for sure. Like, as elementary as it sounds to the regular person to the naked ear, like that's a big step in like recognizing what you have to do to succeed at this level.